ਕਰਨ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੀਕਾਨੇਰ ਰਾਜਸਥਾਨ ਜਾਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਜੀ। ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ।
ਨਹੀਂ ਸ਼ਵਿੰਦਰ ਜੀ, ਇੱਥੇ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਇਹ ਵਾ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ MBBS ਕੋਰਸ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ 5.5 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਵਾ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਰੀਬ 6.5 ਸਾਲ ਕਰ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਔਰ 1 ਸਾਲ ਸਾਰੇ ਡਾਕਟਰਸ ਲਈ ਕੰਪਲਸਰੀ ਕਰ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਵੀ ਪਿੰਡਾਂ 'ਚ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਨੌਕਰੀ ਕਰਨ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਜੀ, ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਕਰਨੀ ਜੀ, ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਣ, ਕੁਆਂਟੀਟੀ ਨਾ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਣ।
ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਣ, ਪਰ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਕੁਆਂਟੀਟੀ ਜਾਊਗੀ ਨਾ
ਸਰ। ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ ਜਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੀ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਘੱਟੋ ਘੱਟ ਜੇ ਪਿੰਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਨੇੜੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਦੇਖਣ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਉਹਦੀ ਰਹਿਣ ਸਹਿਣ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਘੱਟੋ ਘੱਟ ਐਜੂਕੇਟ ਤਾਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ ਜੀ।
ਜੀ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸੋਢੀ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਰਿਐਕਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੋਗੇ?
ਸਰ ਮੈਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਇਹ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹਾਂਗਾ, ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਕਿ ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ ਜਾਏ ਕੁਆਂਟੀਟੀ ਨਾ ਜਾਏ, ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੁਆਂਟੀਟੀ ਹੀ ਜਾਏਗੀ। ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੈਂਸਰ ਦਾ ਮਸਲਾ ਲਿੱਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ, ਇੱਕ ਜਿਹੜਾ MBBS ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟ ਹੈਗਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਰਹੇ ਹੋਗੇ, ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਇੱਕ ਮਸ਼ਹੂਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਕ੍ਰਿਕਟ ਪਲੇਅਰ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਡਾਇਗਨੋਸਿਸ ਇਨੀਸ਼ੀਅਲੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ ਜੀ, ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਕਿ ਕੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜਾ MBBS ਜਾਏਗਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਕੈਂਸਰ ਡਾਇਗਨੋਸ ਕਰ ਲਏਗਾ? ਉਹ ਸਿਰਫ ਇੰਨਾ ਕਰ ਸਕੇਗਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪੇਸ਼ੈਂਟ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਇਆ ਅੱਗੇ ਸਿਟੀ 'ਚ ਭੇਜ ਦਿਓ। ਉਹਦਾ ਰਿਜ਼ਲਟ ਇਹ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਕਿ ਸਿਟੀ 'ਚ ਰੈਫਰਲ ਵੱਧ ਜਾਏਗਾ, ਜਿੱਥੇ PGI 32 'ਚ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਰਸ਼ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੈਗਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਰਸ਼ ਹੋਰ ਵੱਧ ਜਾਏਗਾ। ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਈ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਐਡਵਾਂਟੇਜ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲੇਗਾ ਉਸ ਏਰੀਆ 'ਚ। ਜੀ
देयर इज अनदर कॉलर। हाँ जी, एक और कॉलर है। कौन बोल रहे जी ਤੁਸੀਂ?
ਪਰਮਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ।
ਜੀ ਜੀ,
ਮੈਂ ਜੰਗਪੁਰਾ ਤੋਂ ਬੋਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਜੀ, ਗਿਆਨ ਸਰ ਦੇ ਨੇੜੇ ਹੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਹੈਗਾ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ,
ਉਦੋਂ ਸਰਪੰਚ ਬੋਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਜੀ ਮੈਂ।
ਅੱਛਾ,
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਕੀ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਚਾਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ? ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸੇਖੋ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ
ਨੇੜੇ ਦੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨਾ ਰੂਰਲ ਆਪਣੇ
ਜੀ,
ਆਪਣਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਰਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਉਸ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਫੀਸਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ।
ਅੱਛਾ
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਫੀਸਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਵੀ ਹੈਗਾ, ਨਾ ਚ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਵੀ ਕਰਾਉਂਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ, ਕੁਝ ਬੱਚੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਗਰੀਬ ਹੈਗੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ।
खैर इशू इज स्लाइटली डिफरेंट,
पर फीसा ਅਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਫਿਕਸ ਕਰਦੇ, ਫੀਸਾਂ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਫਿਕਸ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਜਿਹੜੀ ਫੀਸਾਂ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਫਿਕਸ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ। ਕੋਈ ਵੱਧ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਵੇਟ ਮੈਡੀਕਲ ਕਾਲਜ ਪੰਜਾਬ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੱਧ ਲੈਂਦਾ
ਜੀ। देयर इज अनदर कॉलर। ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਕੌਣ ਬੋਲ ਰਹੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ?
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਸੰਧੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ।
ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ।
ਮੈਂ ਸੁਲਤਾਨਪੁਰ ਲੋਧੀ ਡਿਸਟ੍ਰਿਕਟ ਕਪੂਰਥਲਾ ਤੋਂ ਬੋਲ ਰਿਹਾ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਸੰਧੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਆ 6.5 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ, ਕਿਉਂ ਨਾ ਇਹਨੂੰ 5.5 ਸਾਲ ਹੀ ਰਹਿਣ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜਾਵੇ।
ਅੱਛਾ
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਸਰ, 4.5 ਸਾਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਕੋਰਸ ਔਰ 1 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ ਰੂਰਲ ਏਰੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਵੇ।
हाँ, बहुत बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग सजेशन है जी ਤੁਹਾਡਾ। डॉक्टर राज बहादुर वुड यू लाइक टू रिएक्ट? वो कह रहे हैं कि 5.5 साल ही कोर्स रहता जाए और ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ 4.5 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਇੰਟਰਨਸ਼ਿਪ ਹੋ ਜਾਏ ਔਰ ਲਾਸਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ 1 ਸਾਲ ਆ ਉਹ ਰੂਰਲ ਏਰੀਆਜ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪੋਸਟਿੰਗ ਹੋ ਜਾਏ।
ਸਰ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਮੈਡੀਸਨ ਵੱਧ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਲੱਗ ਰਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਕਿ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਨੂੰ ਪੜਾਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਉਹ 4.5 ਸਾਲ 'ਚ ਪੂਰਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। There are certain subjects which are not still dealt in the MBBS profession and we need to do those in the MBBS course. So 4.5 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਕੋਰਸ 1 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਇੰਟਰਨਸ਼ਿਪ ਤਾਂ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਘਟਾਇਆ ਵਧਾਇਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ। ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਆਇਆ ਸੀ ਵੀ 3 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ, ਪਰ ਇਹ ਅੱਛਾ ਸੁਜੈਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੋਰਸ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਸਮਝੋ ਵੀ 5.5 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਕੋਰਸ ਔਰ 1 ਸਾਲ ਉਹ ਬੰਦਾ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਹਸਪਤਾਲ 'ਚ ਰੂਰਲ ਏਰੀਆ 'ਚ he will work as a doctor. ਉਹਦਾ ਕੋਰਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਵਧਿਆ ਸਰ। I must clarify that we are not aiming to increase the course. Course is the same, but 1 year he is compulsory going to do it.
ਦੀ ਡਿਗਰੀ ਤੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ 6.5 ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਮਿਲੂਗੀ ਨਹੀਂ?
ਡਿਗਰੀ ਦਾ ਸਵਾਲ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਇਹਦੇ 'ਚ।
ਚਾਹੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪੈਸੇ ਤੇ 1 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਰੂਰਲ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਦੀ ਤਨਖਾਹ ਮਿਲੂਗੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ, ਪਰ ਡਿਗਰੀ ਤੇ 6.5 ਸਾਲ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਹੀ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਜਾਊਗੀ।
This has been projected by Professor Talwar also that he should get a salary of a doctor. He is not like an intern.
No, salary of a doctor, but he doesn't get the degree till he has completed 6.5 years.
Sir, that is for him to go. This is a compulsion, right? Okay. The degree we are holding it because we are pushing him to go to.
Okay, well point. You holding the degree so that he goes to rural. I'll just come back to you. Here we'll take a short break. On return, we resume our discussion on whether the longer MBBS course will help deal with the shortage of doctors in the rural areas. Welcome back. We are discussing if a compulsory rural posting for doctors aspiring for an MBBS degree is a prudent step. We have a caller here. Let's say what he has to say.
Very good evening, sir.
Very good evening.
संत साहब, पहला तो बहुत ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੁਬਾਰਕਬਾਦ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ।
Thank you very much. Thank you. जी.
Secondly, I am a doctor. मेरे कुछ एक opinion है इस debate ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ।
जी.
Firstly, a medical student who is in his internship,
okay,
in case of any medical negligence,
okay,
what he does to some patient, is not responsible for that, and he can't be punished for that. This must be clear. In case you are posting the intern students in a PHC or in a peripheral hospital, so in case there is some medical negligence, so who are you to blame? Kisko blame karoge aap? This is first. Secondly, jo doctors which you are posting in the rural hospital, I must tell you, you should go and you should visit the subsidiary health centers. Wahan pe there is no medicine, there is no furniture, there is nothing. They are absolutely, or around 50% of the dispensaries which are there, they are running in panchayats, temporary accommodation.
So what you're suggesting is, doctor, that first let us create the basic facilities there, and then think of taking other steps.
For example, if you post a cardiologist also in a PHC or in a subsidiary health center, what is he going to do there? Nothing.
Very valid point. Let me now go to the other person. We'll go across to Dr. Vitul K. Gupta in Bathinda, another doctor. He is the president of the Malwa Association of Physicians of India. Dr. Gupta, why are you so critical of the proposal to increase the MBBS course by a year to get the doctors served in the villages? I saw your report in the newspapers today.
Yeah, basically, I just want to say that I don't know what the policy makers are doing.
Okay.
So instead of going into details, why doctors are not going into rural areas, they are just going to increase the course of MBBS. Already you see the most of the intelligent people are going into other courses, and they are not going into MBBS course because it takes long time to do MBBS. Then after that post-graduation, and after post-graduation they go in for super specialization.
Okay.
So by the time the doctor has super specialist degree, only then he is going to earn a decent livelihood.
Dr. Gupta, let me ask you a personal question. How can a person like you be persuaded to go and work in the villages?
So it is not, I worked in villages for 10 years.
Okay.
So government didn't wanted me because I was not corrupt, and government shunted me out.
Okay.
So basically what is happening, there are two things. Like Dr. Sodhi has told, that it is good pay package and facilities.
Okay, so that is what
things are there.
That is what
you pay the rural doctor double than the urban doctor. See, all the urban doctors are going to opt to the rural areas. What is the problem?
Okay, very fair. Thank you very much, Dr. Gupta, for joining us. Dr. Sodhi, do you think we need to pay the doctors far more, and that could be one reason why the incentives given so far haven't worked?
Yeah, that's what I said earlier, that we have to give them good packages. That is number one. And number two is that we have to create job facilities in such a way that he is happy, that he feels that he is doing what he has learnt. If he feels that he is of no use to the place, he will never work there because his knowledge will go down. And after a few years, he will be unfit to work in any urban area also.
Okay. Dr. Sekhon, the Union Health Minister has said a couple of things. One, those who will do 1 year rural service will get 10 marks additional weightage for post-graduation. Those who do 3 year service will get 30 additional marks for by way of weightage. And for postgraduate diploma courses, 50% seats would be reserved for those who do stints in the rural
This is nothing new. This is nothing new. It has been there for the last 50 years. But the point is the politician going to implement this? See, if they make a transfer policy of doctors, when he passes out, he goes to a rural area, goes to a dispensary. After 3 years, he goes to a primary health center. Then he comes to the Tehsil level and comes to the district level. Every service in government has got a transfer policy. Does the PCMS or any service, does it have a policy?
You mean to say there is no transfer policy
in
any of these states?
There is no transfer policy. A cardiologist can be posted in a dispensary, and a general simple MBBS can be posted at a district headquarters. If they make a transfer policy, make a specialist cadre, make a transparent transfer policy, starting from the dispensary right up to the civil hospital and the higher hospitals, this problem can be solved.
You have a system whereby some seats are reserved from the postgraduate courses for those who are in the government service, the PCMS doctors.
Yes.
And for those, and to qualify for this PG course, you have to have a 3 year stint in the rural area.
Yes. By the time they come.
How is that working?
By the time they come, they have already served in about 10 years of service.
Okay.
And this is only the minimum quantity of seats are reserved for them. And if you don't reserve, I mean, just say everybody has to join the government service, and this is the transfer policy. And after this, everybody is going to sit for the examination.
So, like in the military, you have to have a proper transfer policy.
Every service has a transfer policy, except the doctors. And doctors,
I'm not sure in the civil services, the IAS, the IPS, they have a transfer policy.
They join as SDM,
okay,
and then they become a ADC, then they become a DC, and then they come to the secretariat.
But I think after that, the president is a free for all.
Then, at least at the beginning, there is the policy.
Okay, Dr. Raj Bahadur, I noticed that some of these rural medical officers who were recruited by the Panchayati Raj institutions, some of them have worked for 5 to 6 years in the rural areas, but they don't get the benefit of serving the rural areas. Isn't that very unfair?
So this is absolutely unfair, and I think if on one side the person is doing a service, then he is not getting the benefit of even going for a postgraduate course. I think, as the minister has said, that they should get 30 marks. It must be in letter and spirit. That has also not happened. But that is why this proposal. Had this become a successful, that they get 30 marks and that get into the postgraduate course, probably people would have entered into that. But that scheme also remained unsuccessful. That is why they are now trying to make another system where the doctor will be compelled to go to the rural area. But having said that, it would be very important, as they have said, a person who is going to the rural area should have absolutely a good condition of working. It is not that the MBBS doctor goes there.
So first you create the conditions there.
This is very, very important.
Okay. And why create different cadres? Let's have one cadre under National Rural Health Mission. You have a PCMS, you have a rural doctors, you have all these cadres. Why can't we have just one cadre and have a transparent transfer policy and implement it? And there will be no problem I can assure you, every doctor is going to go to a rural area when he knows that after 3 years he is going to get a better posting.
Okay. So Dr. Sodhi, now you are critical of the proposal that is coming about or that is being mooted. What do you think needs to be done to get more doctors go to the rural areas? We know that 70 to 75% of the population lives in the rural areas.
Yes, I said earlier, we should provide them good facilities so that they can, work, and we should, as he said, Dr. Shekhar said, that when they post a doctor, they should be sure of the fact that the doctor has all the facilities that he is trained for. So if they post a laparoscopic surgeon there is no point. That is one.
Okay.
For the MBBS students, at least bare minimum facilities have to be there. Otherwise, he'll forget whatever he has studied. And good pay packet. And I've got one question, if I may ask.
Yes.
That tomorrow, if we have to build more bridges in the villages and we face shortage of engineers, are we going to make engineering courses 5 years or 6 years for that purpose? Is that the policy the government is going to follow in the future?
Very valid point. Maybe I think we'll have a separate discussion on this. Thank you very much for joining us in the discussion. Earlier incentives for doctors to serve in rural areas did not help. It remains to be seen if a compulsory 1-year stint out of the extended 6.5 years MBBS course will pay the expected dividends. With that, we end this edition of Prime. Good luck and goodbye.